today we have a very, very special guest, and it's Cheryl Shaw. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you? How's your day going?
I'm good. I'm good. Today's been very chilled.
Hmm.
Kids are off half term, so it's just been a chill day indoors, watching a couple movies,
Yeah.
and looking forward to doing this interview with you. How's your day been?
Oh yeah, my day's been great, thanks. I've been waiting for this, preparing for it, and yeah, I suppose that what can we do? We can just watch movies, and it's the most enjoyable thing. And so I
Yeah.
think we first heard about you through CMN, Caring Matters Now, and they're such a
Yeah.
great charity. They've given me a lot of advice about what CMN actually is, and they're absolutely great, and I loved
Yeah.
mixing with them, and they've just been a great support, and they've invested a lot of time and research into CMN as well. So for
Yes.
me, they're just the whole package.
Yeah.
So I really got to learn about you and your inspirational journey. You're such a role model to people with CMN, and you just have that
Thank
confidence
you.
and that just extra something that just makes you so amazing, and you really are an
Thank you.
inspiration. So I'm going to ask you
Thank
a few
you.
questions. It's going to be a friendly interview. So just to start it off, could you tell
Yeah.
us a bit about your journey and what led you here today?
Yeah. Okay. So I was born with CMN. All over my body. They started coming out on my face. I'll say by the time I was about 2 months, up until the age of 11, I never have any, you know, issues with my skin. I was just a normal, happy kid, you know, doing what normal kids do. My confidence issue started when I started secondary school, and that's when everything went kind of like downhill for me. Um, not being very confident because of the fact I felt like I was different from us that I knew that had my skin condition. People saying horrible things about my skin, calling me like 101 Dalmatians, cookie face, leopard, and saying horrible things that really put like I really had a horrible um, time in school, secondary school, which it did affect my GCSEs because I was truanting a lot from school. I didn't really want to learn in school, do like certain PE lessons. For example, I didn't go to swimming. I
Mm.
probably went twice out of the whole of my time in secondary school, made up a lot of excuses. I didn't like to show my legs, didn't like to show my arms. And I just felt really secluded from, I'll say from the world, because like I said, I didn't come across anybody that had the same condition as me. So, it really affected, it really made me feel depressed. It made me feel isolated towards my skin and towards other people, especially like the girls. They was able to wear their skirts in PE and wear their skirts out, and I just felt ugly. And as well as battling issues, having issues with my skin, I was battling issues with my own personal self, the person that like I never have a good relationship with myself. I couldn't accept who I was. And that's just not with my skin, that's just with me in general. Like I wanted to be different. I wanted to have hazel eyes. I wanted to be a lighter colour. Um, so yeah, that it was difficult growing up in school, and it kind of led right up until my adult life as well.
Yeah, I know. It must have a massive effect on your confidence because when I was bullied, I now I look back on it and I consider myself lucky because there are so many other people going worse than what I actually went through, and bullying has something that can affect not only your mental health but your physical health as well. And some people start eating less, some people start wanting to become skinnier, changing themselves, and that is not right, because going back on what you said, that you wanted to change, you have to be happy with yourself before anything else. And I think
Exactly.
being 100% with yourself is more important than anything else. Now, going off that, and I heard you say, I heard you say that you didn't really know anybody with the same condition as you had, CMN.
Yeah.
So going from when you were younger and now, do you think there is enough done regarding CMN equality within, like, the media industry, or people, with scars what may have had their CMN removed like I did? Are they portrayed as good people? And do you think there's enough being done, enough variety within social media?
So first of all, I'd like to thank Kerry Matters Now, because their charity has helped me have anybody like CMN that could support me, support my mum. So I just like to thank them for all what they do for care for people like us. And in answer to your question, I don't think there is enough being done. We've got charities like Kerry Matters Now who are doing a brilliant job. Research, campaigns, they're amazing. But I still don't feel like presented enough. And that's just my opinion. I mean, some people may think differently, but I just feel like we're not being represented enough, and it's a shame, because we are people. All we have is a difference. So why should we be excluded from certain jobs, modelling careers, and especially for somebody like myself who is black, I find it extra to the beauty world, if you know what I mean. So I don't think we're being represented. I really don't, and I just think it's a shame, because it's not just people with CMN; it's people with other disabilities, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, who are not being included. And the way how social media is, they have their own beauty type. You have to be a certain way to fit in. And don't get me wrong, we are seeing a bit more of people with a difference being included. Still don't think we're being represented enough.
Exactly. And when I was born, and around 2006, CMN was, I think, in 1 in 300,000, or a statistic like that. But today, it's like, it's much more common. And I think now we have to realize that we should start embracing it more, because it is an issue that isn't really brought up enough. And going off what you said about it's not being shown enough in the media, do you think there is a massive difference when you were younger and now, or do you think that it's not really changed?
Growing up, I didn't know anybody that had this condition until about 4 or 5 years ago. On my social media, I started to come across more people with the condition. But at the same time, when I'm doing my research, Nick, like just say if I put in, black girl with CMN, or it won't come up. It will come up with more white, or you know what I mean. And that's not a problem, but it's not like for myself. I'm aware of it, and I've been doing my research on it, but there's somebody else who's black. If they put it in, they'll probably think, oh, this is not common in black people. It's more common in the white background. You know what I mean? So I still don't think there's enough being done in regards to
Exactly.
And yes, it is different, because now I'm knowing a bit more about it, as it was before. I didn't know anything. My mum didn't know anything. Doctors couldn't diagnose me, because until the later stage, till when I was about 13. I got diagnosed 13, 14. But yeah, I still feel like more could be done.
Definitely. And there can be more done with anything. And exactly what you said, there is not really because especially when you go online, and I have seen a similar issue. That's what you have just said, with race, and it really, you can't really see a black person with CMN if you try
Yeah.
and search it up. And I think that's what Caring Matters Now has kind of done, and they've introduced her. So I think it has definitely got better since, let's say, 10 years ago, and I think there's been a
Yeah.
massive change, but there still really isn't enough being done
Yeah.
about it. So
Mm.
yeah, thank you for answering that. I know it's a very difficult issue to speak about, but thank you so
Mm.
much.
Yeah.
So going off that, what would you say was the biggest issue or challenge that you've had to face in your life?
With my skin or in general?
In general.
In general. Okay. The biggest issue I would say, or challenge that I would say I had, as well as dealing with my skin and battling depression,
Yeah.
I also went through a traumatic experience. So, dealing with my skin and then dealing with the traumatic experience really affected my mental health, and it really affected me as a person. And people have to understand that when we go through things within ourselves, so when we have issues going on within ourselves, that's not having to go through depression, low moods, we are still living life, and we're still coming across barriers and challenges that we also have to deal with. And that there for me was one of my my biggest challenges. And it was something that affected my family, and myself, and relationships with other people. So my skin condition, as well as going through a traumatic experience on top of that, was one of my biggest challenges, because panic attacks, the anxiety, scared to even step out my house at times, scared to go to certain places, as well as dealing with my skin every single day, was the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah, because no matter who you ask, everyone says life is difficult and life is hard. And
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, that my CMN is kind of a burden, because I love having it and I embrace it, and I've learned to do that over my life. But it's unfair that we have to go through that extra toughness and hardships of life just because of something that is out of our control. And
Yeah.
it is horrible that I've had to face depression and anxiety, and you have as well. And really, I think now in 2020, I can't believe bullying or these different levels of society are still going on, as I thought it would have been definitely solved by now, especially in the world that we live in today. Most of the things 10 years ago wouldn't even be acceptable today, if
Mm.
you said it. But yet there is still things going on in the world, and there are always going to be those people, and it just makes it so much harder on these people with these conditions similar to us. So it's going to be, it's very hard, isn't it? And I suppose we've just had
Yeah.
to deal with it, which is wrong.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's why hopefully next couple of years it will be better. But
Yeah.
right now I don't think enough's being done for mental health and for everything, and for,
Mm.
yeah. So that's what I think about that, going off what you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
100% agree with you.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going off what we've been speaking about, the world's suffering from a lot of problems right now, but maybe there is a problem that might not be heard of, or maybe there isn't something that's got enough recognition. So what do you think the world is going through at the moment that hasn't really been shone a light on?
I think we need to I think one thing that the world's we're going through COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, there's been a lot of issues around that, and I think it's more for me, it's okay. They're saying you've got to wear masks, you've got to keep 2 meters apart, you can't be, you have to be in your own bubble at home and stuff like that. But there's nothing showing in social media about how to do self-care, how to look after yourself whilst you're going through COVID, set self-care challenges or go to the gym, eat healthily. So that part, I think that's not being advertised.
Yeah.
A lot of things about masks. We've seen a lot of things about you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that. But advise those, because mental health has had a major impact since COVID.
Yeah.
The stats have gone up, especially in young people. So what's the government doing to help the young people? Okay, yeah, you're helping like families that's got young people with free school meals and things like that. But how are you helping a young person that's got mental health and it's been deteriorated because of what's happening with those people? So there needs to be more put out there about how to change your diet, like I said, self-care, do things to sort of improve your mental health. And there's not a lot being done. And also I think we need more love. I think the world's missing that,
Exactly.
and I can go on and on and on about that, but like I said, it's all these things that could get put out themselves and to love themselves, then they can give it to more of people around them, and then it's domino effect. And I think that's what the world needs more of as well. It's love.
Exactly. Especially mental health was something that was really bad before everything that was happening right now, before COVID. And
Yeah.
now that lockdown's been happening, you can't meet up with your friends or you can't be face to face with someone. It has really rocketed up with mental health, and it's just become such a worse issue. And definitely what the government's saying, you have to stay inside and wear a mask, it is important, but they have to expand on that for those people who might be clueless on what to do. Their daily regime has gone to dust and
Yeah.
they don't know what to
Yeah.
do. So we have to try and make them feel like we have to try. And that's all
Yeah.
we can do. We have to try and make it feel like we're going through the daily regime that we
Yeah.
did before and give us these ideas.
It's true. We gotta try. And like in regards to these masks, like I totally understand why we have to wear them. I totally understand
Yeah.
that. But then I'm someone that suffers panic attacks. I've had panic attacks since wearing the masks. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's really. But we have to try. We have to try. We have to wear them. My doctor won't exempt me because he said it's not a good enough reason to be exempted. But I'm like, I find it difficult breathing. Like, there's been times where I end up in hospital twice because of panic attacks after wearing the mask.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to learn how to deal with it now. So like yesterday, I had a panic attack wearing the mask, and I just had to like start to think about my safe place and things like that to kind of get through it. But like I said, there's not a lot out there that's being done for the younger generation, not even just for the younger generation, for people in general that are going through mental health and all these challenges. There's nothing done to help them.
Yeah,
So,
and it's so scary. Imagine being a young kid or even any person in the world that's saying that they've been through a global pandemic that's affected everyone in some shape or form. And it's so stressful, it's
yeah,
so hard on many people, even the people, and it's even worse than the people who have
yeah,
mental health before lockdown and have
yeah,
those panic attacks and anxiety.
mm,
And there definitely should be measures in place for those people, because we like to include people and tell them the same thing, but they have to be treated with more care because
yeah,
they are very vulnerable, especially
yeah,
in these times, and more attention has to be brought upon it. And masks are there to put a safe barrier for us, but
mm,
it's not what we're used to before, and we have to try and ease into it in a way. And
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. Not enough has been done, and I think
No.
you're definitely right with that. But going off that, and we're finding these times so stressful. Do you find any ways to cope with these stresses that are brought onto you?
In general.
Yeah, in general, just in general.
Yeah. Do you know what? When I was going through my skin conditions, I didn't find any ways to sort of deal with it, like to just, there wasn't no coping strategies for me to improve on my depression or to help me not, feel, any resentment towards other people and towards myself. It sort of had to take for me to fall in love with myself and embrace my skin. And like during COVID, I've just got to take each day as it comes. I've got to take each day as it comes. I have a faith that I follow, and, I just put like the faith into God and just make it, just take each day. I try not to stress too much about what's going on in social media and with COVID. I just have to thank God each day that, I'm healthy, my family's healthy, we're okay. And just take each day as it comes, because everything always changes, you know what I mean? And it's just like, at first it was difficult because I was being mom, I was being wife, I was being a teacher, and it was like a step back and just take each day as it comes. And
Yeah.
it hasn't been easy. There's been ups and downs, but I feel because I've got a better relationship with myself, I'm able to deal with challenges differently to how I would have dealt with it before.
Yeah, and there was a specific point that you said, and it was about social media. And if you, let's not talk about social media in general, but if you like turn on any piece of tech, you turn on the television, you look at the news, it's just not focusing on anything positive.
Positive,
And
no.
And if you have that stressful mindset and you're always worried about how something can hurt you or your loved ones, and you turn this on and see all this horrible news, yeah, some people do like to see the statistics and to see how it might be getting better, or if it is getting
Yeah.
worse. But for those certain people, some people just want to see the positive side of things.
Positive.
We've been focusing on this horrible virus for so long, and they're still showing us the bad it's doing in the world. And maybe
Yeah.
you have to try and focus on those people who are doing the good, trying to make it better. Those people who, and let's forget about it, try and forget about it entirely. Yes, we will always know that it's there, and we have to up our hygiene levels, but maybe focus on the good side of things, because that does have a massive impact on people. If they just turn on any piece of social media, go on Instagram, go onto the news, go on Facebook or whatever, and you see all this horrible news, it really does affect people.
And you know what, as well, it's not just going on social media. It's what I had to do when COVID first happened, and you had all these conspiracies that was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's to do with 5G, it's to do with this. I had to actually put a message on my WhatsApp to say, please do not send me anything to do with COVID or any conspiracies. And sometimes you have to sort of distance yourself from the people that keep going, that's happening, this is happening. So even though you're not going on and you're not focusing on social media, but you've got, someone that's around you that's still going on social media every single day, listening to conspiracies and then letting you know what's happening. And I don't want to know. So if I just put that on my message. I said, I don't want to know nothing about anything to do with COVID or anything to do with any conspiracies. I would listen to the Prime Minister on this day, that day, listen to what he says, this is what the scientist says, and then I'll keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like I said, sometimes you have to distance yourself from other people, kind of protect your energy and just be like, you know what, I can't take all of this, what this person keeps telling me. It's all negativity. It's making me feel depressed, it's making me feel low, and it's not putting me in a good mindset. You've got to do something about it and just kind of be like, I don't want to listen to what you're saying.
Because it's always there about us, if it's
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah,
the news or if someone else is
yeah.
telling you. And you know, it's just, yeah, it's just you don't. It's like you have that question. It's like, don't you think I know what's happening in the world, and do I need this reminder constantly every day
And
of the
that's it.
sadness that's going on?
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah, yeah.
interesting talking
It's
to you
so
about
true.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, going on to a different question. Thank you for, just speaking about it. Thank you, because I
Mm.
like to hear other people what they think about it. So, I'm going to this question. A bit more funner, but what quote do you try and live by every day, or what quote really shines out to you and you really admire
Um, I love going by quotes. Like I do try and um, I've got loads of quotes that I really, that I
it?
really love. But I think overall is just I'm just grateful for life. Just
Yeah,
grateful for life in general. Like,
exactly.
sometimes you have to make a good situation out of a bad situation. And you know what? I'm content and I'm okay. My family's healthy. We've got food in our cupboard, we've got hot water, we've got a warm home, grateful for life. And that's the quote that I live by, because it keeps me motivated at times. Like some days when I'm feeling down, because we still have bad days, and when I'm feeling down and a bit low and a bit kind of like I just want to be on my own, then I'd be like, you know what, Cheryl, be grateful for life. There's people out there that are going through so much at this present moment in time, that their family members are in hospital, they can't go and see their family members. You've got women having babies, and their partners can't come up until when they're giving birth. At the moment, I'm content. I'm okay. There's things going
Exactly.
on in my life. My life is not perfect. It's not all I love myself and everything's good now, but I am just grateful overall that I can wake up each morning,
Yeah,
and be with my
because
family.
no matter what you do, there is no such thing as the perfect life, and there's always going to be a problems that you're going to face or
Yeah.
problem that you're going through. But going on what you said and the quote that you said as well, um, you have to be grateful for life, because all of these scientists and NASA and all these astronauts, we have seen countless galaxies and we found no life whatsoever. And we can go off statistics, but really what do those statistics mean? And we
Mm,
have to look, the chance of us being alive and breathing this fresh air on this perfect planet,
that's it.
it's a 1 in a billion chance, even that.
Mm,
And
mm,
we really don't need to go through this extra stress that we're causing onto ourselves, because we are the
yeah.
so lucky, and the chances of us even being here today, being born in the first place, me speaking to you, it's
Mm,
near impossible, and
yeah.
it's sort of destiny. So
Yeah.
we're all perfect in our own way, and we
Of course.
are meant to be here today, and we're meant to be someone, because we all have a purpose in life, and that is one of the quotes that I look by. And I personally
Yeah.
think, and I'm sure many others, you are the most inspirational person that I've met in
Mm,
my life, because you just take that sad moments in life, and it's a shame because every single person that you see stand out in the media, or you see that you really admire to be, they've all gone through that hardship in life. And you really do wonder, is there a person that hasn't gone through hardship and
yeah.
hasn't gone through that stress that brought them to basically rock bottom? Is there that person that has gone through that experience and has stood out and prevailed and has stood
Mm,
out from the rest? Is there that person?
yeah.
No, because it's just
No.
unfair the way that the world works.
Yeah.
And when people see and say that I have this perfect life, do they really?
Mm.
So that is a question as well.
And that is I totally agree with what you're saying, because I'll go back onto social media and you've got influencers a certain image and make it out that their life's perfect,
Yeah,
and they have their followers wanting to be like them, and they are actually not happy in real life, because we have to all admit that Instagram, social media, it's not real life to a certain extent. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have our Instagram and we post and, you know, we inspire and stuff, but then you've got the influencers that make up, like, you know, where you have to, you know, be a size 0, or you have to have a certain body image, or you have to have these cars or these houses and stuff. But where in real life, it's not real. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And all
exactly.
the time when you see these women, I'll say these women because I've got these certain influences in my head that I look at and think, that's not real. Like, what you're doing is not real, and you see them in real life, and they don't look like how they look on social media anyway. So when I get you call it and all of that, and you got the younger generations like, I want to look like her. Oh my gosh, I need to have that. Whereas it's on Instagram, but if you see them in real life, they won't look like that, you know. And you're
Exactly.
putting the pictures, and social media conditions you to believe that you have to be a certain way. And this is what I do, because it's breaking down the beauty stereotypes, and everyone should be accepted for who they are, no matter what their differences, no matter what their religion is, no matter what their ethnicity is, and no matter what their, you know, if they've got any skin conditions and etc. We need to all be accepted. Feel that they can't be accepted because they don't look a certain type of way, or they haven't got the flashy cars, or they haven't got the designer clothes, and they haven't got this beauty image. And it's just a shame. It really is. And this is why we have people like yourself, Nick. You know, you are very inspirational, and at
Thank
such a
you.
young age. Because how old are you?
Um, I'm turning 14 in 3 days. So yeah.
And look how you are just so inspiring at that age, having the same condition. At your age, I was going through a really bad depression, not even being able to talk about it, you know, not even being able to. I would talk about it to my mum at times, but nobody knew what was going on. And for you to just be sitting there and doing all the things that you have done, and embracing and being inspirational and being a motivational, sorry, I can't get my words out, motivational speaker, and going into schools and doing what you're doing, I really applaud you, because I look at the younger generation with my condition, with our condition, and I'd be like, when I was your age, I was like, you know, I was as confident as somebody like you know, that I could look up to and that could inspire me to embrace. And it's just so lovely talking to you today. This has
Yeah,
actually been
it's likewise
amazing.
with you. It's just everyone has their time when they feel like they're ready to speak about it,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
have to respect the person's personal space. And you have to respect when they're ready and when they
Mhm.
feel like they are ready. That's why I respect all of these influencers or these famous people that are online when they come out with these truthful stories about themselves. You might see that animated way of themselves performing or speaking, but then when they actually come out and show that they're not like that every single day of their lives, and they actually have human problems that we can relate to, that's who I really respect, because
Mm,
they are sharing their story, and it
mm,
is not hard, it's not easy to do that,
mm. And
and
they're human
that's
like
why
everybody else, aren't they?
exactly,
You know,
yeah,
and
it's
this is
something I
what
don't
we
really.
need to,
Mm.
yeah.
So yeah, I know your time is very precious. You're an amazing person. So I'm going to keep this as my last question. You have been amazing today.
Oh,
But
thank you.
what would you say to someone who might be watching this right now and is suffering from their own problems that um, may be linked to CMN, not entirely, but maybe linked to CMN, or might be suffering from bullying for another reason, or might just be feeling low. So, what would you say?
Talk to somebody. always, if you're feeling low about how you're feeling about your skin, if you've got CMN or any other difference, talk to somebody. Just express how you feel. Do some research on the on our skin condition, and see, look for any sort of like help. Professional charities, for example, like bullying. I would say it's always good to ignore. I mean, when I was growing up in school, I was quite feisty. I was very defensive. So, the bullying happened, and then I was just like really kind of like, very argumentative, and and all of that. But I just find that if you're going through bullying, don't be confrontational. Speak to a teacher about what's going on. Distance yourself from people that don't make you feel good. That's not making you feel good about yourself and making you feel worse about yourself. And just always remember that everybody's different and everybody has their own beauty, and don't compare yourself to other people. So don't feel like you have to look a certain type, or you have to be like this person, have to look like that person. Everybody is unique, and accept and embrace your skin, embrace it, because this is who we are, unique. We are human just like everybody else, so try not to compare yourself, and always think about, there could be somebody out there, and I know there will be many people out there that would look at you and be inspirational. So what you may class as, that's not beautiful to you could be beautiful to somebody else. So just always remember that not everybody's looking at you negatively. And even if that person's looking at you negatively, that they need to do with themselves. And the bullies have got things going on with themselves that they need to do with themselves. So, just embrace. And from when you can embrace and have a better relationship with yourself and love who you are, you end up having better relationships with everybody around you, and you'll be able to love those who are around you. So,
those are amazing words. And exactly what you said. You have to be 100%. You have to be proud of yourself before anything else. So it's been truly an amazing experience to speak to you today, and I know your time is very, very precious. And you're an amazing model for Vogue as well, and you have done great.
I haven't really spoke about that, have I?
Oh yeah, we haven't really. Was there anything else that you wanted to say?
Yeah, like never, Nick, in my life would I have thought I would have reached I feel about myself. Never would I have thought that I'd be able to model and embrace and show my legs and model for these brands and be a part of these amazing projects. It's absolutely been an amazing journey. Modeling, doing photo shoots. I can't get my words out today. Photo shoots, and setting up my own business to go into the schools and speak to the younger generation to try and change their mindset and how they feel about themselves, because the kids are the future, and I feel the pressure the younger generation are going through right now is very, very pressurable. So never would I have thought that I would have been able to do it. Never would I have thought that. And now it's made me have a much happier life. I didn't know what happiness was until I embraced my skin. So I've been going on to do amazing, amazing things, and I enjoy it so much. And it's to help others that have got that's going through confidence issues, that can't embrace, that don't feel confident about themselves, that haven't got good relationships with themselves. A journey that I've been on to help other people, amazing. So
exactly. And I'm so proud of you that you were able to sort of expand from when you were younger, and you were able to do something that you never thought you would do before, and you are happy with yourself, and that is amazing, and what people aspire to do. So I definitely salute you for that as well. And it's been so amazing to speak with you today. I think it's just truly been an amazing experience. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you.